All righty. Hello, hello, Adrian. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing frozen. So again, I apologize for the technical issues on my end. But we had a great conversation yesterday. We spoke a little bit about the role and what it looks like. Now, I would love for you to just kickstart this interview and tell me a little bit about your professional experience, please.
Well, I started back in 2008 with Southern Glazers. I started out as a merchandiser, and then after a little while, I moved my way up to a co-managed specialist, and that involved working very closely with Walmart. I took a certification class in Bentonville, Arkansas, where they flew me over, did a couple days, and learned how to use their entire system in Forum and Retail Link. Using that system, I was able to do forecasting and all of their replenishment for 4 different states for the entire SKU of Southern Glazers, which is about 250 SKUs. Um, from there, I moved on to a business analyst, handling all of our SKUs, all of those catalog SKUs for Southern Glazers on the west coast of the United States for the hotel chain and national accounts. After that, I transitioned over to Spice Gate Gourmet, where I was a receiver. And I started out as a receiver, and then I transitioned over to a buyer full time after a few months working there. And there I was responsible for purchasing the raw materials necessary for their manufacturing of various dishes, working for the airline industry, mostly first class international flights. That was a very rewarding experience because I got a chance to work very hand in hand with our vendor partners as well as our customers. A lot of face to face. From there, I was able to transition into Spice World, which is they as a supply chain analyst, and there I so Spice World, they handle the creation and manufacturing of garlic and garlic like ingredients. So I would take all of the requisitions from the buyer, and I would transition those and move them around logistically. From there, I transitioned to a permanent role at CHEP, which they do pallets, which in that role, I more and more usually was more about inventory and handling all of their audits, as well as training offsite personnel and how to use their inventory system.
That's incredible. And thank you so much for that introduction. Definitely outlined from where you started to where, you were or last were at. One thing that kind of stood out to me was how you mentioned you started as a receiver and then you worked your way up, even 3 to 4 months later into that buyer position. So really shows your work ethic there. And so that definitely stood out to me. Now, looking at your experience, would you say you have a little over 8 years of experience as a buyer or in a purchasing role, or a little over?
A little over. The only during Gate Gourmet, that was the
Mhm.
only role in which I was classified as an official, buyer on the actual uh,
In that actual seat.
in the actual seat. But
Makes
the
sense.
tasks, I've been doing those time tasks since Southern Glazers, since I was in charge of replenishment and procurement for uh, for Walmart in the Sam's Clubs in 4 states.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Now, my next question with that, how many vendors were you typically managing at a time?
With Southern, it was only ourselves, but
Okay.
during Gate, we handled, I would say, 20 vendors at least,
Yeah.
depending on the month and also the scope of the menu. We're also working with a lot of different airlines, so each airline had preferences over vendors over their particular brand of materials.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for sharing that and explaining it into more depth. Now, in reference to systems that you've used, with purchasing, would you mind sharing that with me?
Yeah, I mostly used, depending on the situation, because each particular company has their own eccentricities over their systems.
Yes.
But I started out as I said, mentioned before, Retail Link and Forum with in Southern Glazers, and then when I was working with Gate Gourmet, they have SAP or SAP. Used that very much in depth until I became the subject matter expert in their internal proprietary system, which is called SACS, and they use that internationally with pretty much they use it for ordering and procurement, replenishment, printing out all of their inventory. Um, and then I went right back to SAP and CHEP. And during my time at Spice World, I was able to get a crash course in NetSuite.
Awesome. Okay, incredible. And I know a lot of companies have their own little systems they use, but more or less, I would say they all kind of correlate, same functions, just little gadgets that may be different. But that sounds great. Now, in reference to you starting a new position, when were you looking to start?
Uh, Immediately, I have a pretty much an open schedule right now.
Awesome. So ready right away. Are you able to interview right away as well?
Yes,
Awesome. Well, Adrian, I want to go ahead and conclude the interview. I appreciate all the details you were able to provide me. And again, I apologize for the technical issues on my end, but if you don't mind, stay with me on the line really quickly. I want to chat with you.
of course.
Thank you.